Hello Infinity Kingdom audience, this is Ray with another video. Today's topic, I feel like I should tackle a popular one, namely skill synergies on Alex. This is because he is a popular immortal that is in over 89% of the marches at present. And because he is very popular, either in a mixed march, which is an older meta, which isn't really as popular now, or alongside YSS. So this is Ying Xing Sun, for those who are new here. There are multiple ways players have thought of building him. So in this video, we're going to go over the various builds players try, and I'm going to do a comparison, but it's going to be too long for this video, so I will do it in a separate video, but it will be a direct sequel to this one. So let's get started. First of all, we have to set some prerequisites. When building Alex, you need his exclusive artifacts. No buts, no ifs. No, you need his exclusive artifact. There are two kinds, and it's been widely discussed. Either it has Iron Fist as the special attribute, or you get the Rapid one as the special attribute. You must get combination of physical attack bonus percentage with Rapid. Because I haven't, I'm just going to... So this is preferred with certain builds, while this is preferred with other builds. I haven't been able to get the perfect artifact with the most popular build, but nevertheless, I see it against me all the time. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. First off, when you get the immortal and you're in the beginning of the game, so pre-season, you most likely will get Onslaught in the tutorial. I hope everyone gets Onslaught if you're looking to build an Alex. You can use the skill at first, but later on, the one you can get and is advised to get is the one you want to get is Anger. This increases the physical damage. If you don't know what physical damage is versus physical attack, then just retain that physical damage. It's better than physical attack, because physical attack has to go through the opponent's defense. One physical damage is something that is after the defense was taken into account. So it's always best to choose skills that go for physical defense. I recommend going Anger on him. This should be your first skill also in the Tower of Knowledge. Then you would get Combo, which will be your second, and the final one would be Cleave. So this is for the free-to-play. This is the base line for an Alex. Even though in pre-season you're going to have a hard time getting his exclusive artifact, you want to be prepared, so you will aim for this one. These can be exchanged as a free-to-play. You can exchange this one for Duel Master if you already have a high Zenobia and you want to get her heals. Duel Master guarantees that you'll get her heals, but in terms of raw damage, Duel Master is below Onslaught and even Anger. So unless this is only strictly for getting the heals off of your Zenobia. And of course we're going to talk of Alex in a march alongside with Zenobia, Keen, and if you want YSS or Annabelle, even though he's only popular at first because players then chose a Yingshan Sung afterwards. But let's not go too far into the details. Now, well, having said this, how do these synergize? Well, first of all, these are all a combination of his special artifact ability. So if you see, the special artifact give him increase 35% attack speed and increase damage. And we have said that this is a must. So any increase in damage or in attack speed serves him best. Combo, while it only has a 30% chance of activating because he has increased attack speed, you will get more activations out of combo by using it on him. And it is a single target skill which damages the opponent in front. This means that it can be used on Alex to snipe a specific opponent. So you control your positioning on whether it's in the top left or top right of the field of the march. So whether your Alex is top right or top left here, you can control basically who you want to snipe. And this one, because this does splash damage to the nearby targets, this one is useful because he also has increased attack. So every normal attack, if he attacks more often, then this quickly dishes out high amounts of damage. So this is the basic synergy on him. You put something that either increases his damage or something that relates to his normal attacks. Skills that are kind of out of the meta for him, even though they are free to play, and I do not recommend you use either of them. I do not know, one I don't even have, so I have to go here and search for it. Dominate. Never get Dominate. It is, for the cost, it is not useful because it only increases physical attack. And later on in the game, the amount that this gets you is insignificant. Another one which players typically used, and you will find in older guides, is Heavenly Thunder, which basically is the same as Combo, in a way, that it activates with a 30% chance on every normal attack, but it causes here magical damage, and this is not what we want because our Alex is a physical one. This was from a period where we didn't have the abundance of skills we have now, and players ran Hannibal and Alex, so they have to balance 2 rounds of physical damage skills as a free-to-play on 2 damage-dealing immortals. So this one was chosen just because there wasn't any other available, but now it is off. So I do not recommend you go for it any longer, especially if you run Alex as a single damage dealer. Okay. So this is the first one. Sadly, as a free-to-play, you have to aim for some of the paid skills later on. The first branching of this build is, and a more least expensive one is, if you go for Blade Vortex. You go for Blade Vortex, then you go for Anger, you keep Anger, and you keep your combo. So in essence, you are keeping your sniper ability, the high probability chance that you will attack You will kill the target in front of you by pure luck of combo activating in succession during the beginning of the fight. You're keeping that chance alongside with you. Anger comes to increase the damage that Blade Vortex gives. And if you read the skill, it's not that fancy of a skill. However, this is something that comes along gives damage as the battle stretches on. Because it is not the physical damage given every 12 seconds that will give you the high amounts of damage, but rather that the tier effect from it is something that will give you the high amount of damage as the battle goes on again. So this is the first branch. If you want to consider sort of specialization for specialization in terms of skills for Alex, this is one branch of the specialization. And this synergizes with this artifact, with Iron Fist. Iron Fist gives, if you see here, physical damage 12%. So this is similar to Anger. Physical damage by 30%. So these go in succession. You won't get 42, you might get something different, but I don't want to go into the details of the math right now. You might get 42, so these might add, but they all increase the damage of this one. And your aim while going for this build is to keep Alex alive as long as possible. And usually you do this with YSS because his ultimate reduces the incoming damage, and you have to run guard on him. You have to run guard on him regardless of the build you choose to follow. The advantage with this build is that you only have to buy this skill from the Wishing Well shop by selling a KVK skill. This unlocks, I don't know if it's in Conquest or if it's in Season 2. Now that I do not remember, you'll have to do some research about it. You can find it on the wiki. But sure enough, in Conquest you'll get it. This is the disadvantage, and the advantage is that you are basically done here as a free-to-play. So what you want in this build is to drag the fight as long as possible. Now in this build, if you want to further progress, you can do following tricks. You can get, however, I do not recommend, but you can get, I do not recommend, if you can afford it, go for it, but you can get this one, that increases crit rate alongside your physical damage, although he's not a critter. Our Alex is not a critter, and this is a paid skill, so it's $120, I believe, from the recharge pack. But another one that you can get, I think it's Growl. So this one can be gotten for $50 in the KVK Battle Pass. It should unlock in the Legendary Season or in Conquest, earlier in Conquest. However, you can also get this in the KVK shop for Frost coins in Legendary Season, but that's a little bit late if you want to stay ahead of the builds against the other players. However, this one strictly says that it increases your physical damage by 50% or more than this one, than Anger. The side effect you can ignore because Alex doesn't use energy anymore. Why he has his exclusive effect. A cheat, if you want, you can use Demonic Contract. What this does is, at first it decreases your damage by 50%. I'm just going to give, because it's 3 seconds. So it decreases your damage by 50%. However, that doesn't matter too much because you will start dealing damage only at the 12-second mark. So after 12 seconds, you should have gained 40% damage increase. So the decrease versus the increase, you will be left during the first cast with a decrease of 10%. And in the next battle time, so at 24 seconds, you will have 150% increase to damage. So this one sets you up even later in the battle, but significantly boosts your damage, and boosting this skill's damage. But again, this implies that you need to drag the battle even longer. Now, the second type or specialized build that you can do is keep the cleave, keep the anger, and here you have the option to go for Berserk, which it's the same thing as with Blade Vortex. This one comes earlier in the game. You can buy it earlier, I believe from KDK shop. If you go up to Conquest, you can surely buy it from there, but you can buy it earlier from the Wish shop. So this basically focuses your Alex on dealing more splash damage and increasing that splash damage's strength. Now, this is the first progression. The second one would be you will want to get using Berserk here doesn't deal the highest amount of damage. But it has the advantage, so this type of build has the advantage that it gives out dashes damage early on in the battle. And when I said Berserker doesn't give out the biggest damage, the one that does is Wind Rage. This is available later in the game, so later than Berserker, and this one gives as a percentage to give an additional normal attack. Now with this one, what you want to do is also replace anger, and either if you're very free to play and you cannot afford it from this perspective, go combo, because it gives a normal attack, so a 55% chance to give a normal attack. This basically has a higher chance of activating, so you will destroy the immortal in front of you while also dishing damage to the nearby immortals. Or later on in the game, you will have to buy, this is the best one, Assembly Charge. This is in Conquest, I believe. It's also from the Prot shop. You can buy it. And this works similar to a cleave, with the difference that it also attacks the enemy in front. So cleave attacks the ones next to him, the one in the back, and the one to the left or to his right. And this one attacks those and the current one in front of him for another 75% damage rate. This is what most players call the final build, as a free-to-play, as whatever. You can go for these skills early on. And you can go for a skills early on and be a paid player, investing in Alex. Notice that everything is around normal attack. So each normal attack, this has a chance of every normal attack. So everything is around normal attacks or attack speed. What players do is use Berserk here, and we will see in the second part of the video that this yields less damage than with Wind Rage, even though it is appealing because you say, another 25% attack speed and another increased damage. However, in practice it doesn't work like this because you are full skilled in the slots. So this would have worked if you could have placed another better skill. Sadly, there isn't. What players might also do here is switch out Cleave and put Growl. This is something I wouldn't recommend you do because math-wise, I do not believe that you get a higher damage yield out of it. We'll see in the next part if we can have the time, but the idea behind this combination is that the splash damage acts, so the splash damage I mean the one this one gives to the nearby enemies, and the one this one gives to the nearby enemies. The splash damage acts as an AoE in this case, just because his attack speed gets that high. Also, if you go for this build, you need Rapid. Rapid delivers better results. And no, having Rapid here while having physical attack here won't deliver better results. This is where I'm now. It's an area where I admittedly and consciously accept that I'm using a suboptimal build. So I cannot get... I tried. I couldn't get it. I tried. You can see here that I tried. One thing worth mentioning is if you're an extreme, or let's not say extreme spender, but if you're willing to spend after reaching this peak here, then a natural progression is to replace this one, replace Cleave with Knife through Butter. I don't have it because it is a legendary skill, but let's look at it. Among the legendary skills, this one, if you read it, after landing 6 normal attacks, deals damage to all enemy units. The damage rate isn't high, however, it shakes off some of their energy, and this is a main advantage this skill has because you prevent immortals from casting their ultimate. This is very useful against a great variety of immortals, but it isn't useful against another Alex. And know that by getting this kill, you will sacrifice some of the damage because it only has a 60% chance to reduce the target's enemy's energy. And you need to land 6 attacks. Realistically, this isn't as bad because an Alex can go up to 1 second per attack. So this can activate as at 6 seconds if you want to compare it with other skills. But yeah, this is also expensive. Let's talk specializations. Realistically, you can only go this path, regardless of what build you decide to go for. Even if you choose Blade Vortex, I would still recommend you go for this build because it increases attack speed and damage. Damage helps Blade Vortex. And attack speed helps you with your combo because you still have a combo. Because this one Alex isn't a critter by nature because he doesn't have any items that give him crit rate. So his exclusive artifact doesn't. He imagines some players would want to explore this path, but this is just for the 0.1% of players who can also afford to buy Time to Shine, because this is the only skill that increases your crit rate. And the other specialization, this is just a constant damage rate, and while it does seem appealing for AoE because everyone gets a hit, it activates only at 9 seconds, and I guess the scaling just isn't there because it's also percentage-wise and the scaling isn't there. You might say that you want to go full hands-on with... Okay. So this is everything I wanted to say. You'd stay tuned for the next one where we will see which of these skill builds are actually the best. Till later, bye bye.